Hi guys, you are watching Dash People channel. I'm Helen and I'm talking to Bradley Zastrow, the head of Global Business Development. Hi Bradley.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, nice to see you, to meet with you here.
Thank you.
Well, our team and our Russian Dash users actively promote Dash throughout Russian market, and to be on the same path with the Dash core, we would like to ask you about the main global Dash aim.
No, thank you for that. Well, Dash's goal is freedom of money, freedom of your money. And what we're trying to do within business development is obviously help expand that freedom. We're expanding that through a couple of different ways, and that's primarily around just different types of partnerships that we're looking at globally, as well as certain markets that we're also looking at globally as well. The types of partnerships that we do look at, for example, we're focusing a lot on channel partnerships. This allows us to increase scale rapidly through a single relationship. An example of this would be GoCoin. GoCoin is a payment provider that works with about 500 different merchants, and we're able to integrate and work very closely with GoCoin, and through that single relationship, of course, then expand our ecosystem to those 500 merchants, rather than individually work and acquire each individual merchant by themselves. So channel partners is a key focus. One of our other key focuses is around fiat on and off ramps. We do need to increase and ensure we maintain an easy ability for people to exchange their fiat for Dash. So again, we're looking at whether that's from an exchange or a broker point of view. Is there ATM network or debit card providers that we can also leverage? So that's a focus as well. One of the other focuses from business development is also around what I would say distressed markets and the or underbanked people. An example of this would be Venezuela, where very briefly, of course, for those that don't know, Venezuela has some economic troubles. Their national fiat is undergoing high levels of inflation. So there's not a lot of comfort or faith in that national fiat, which is where Dash can come in and provide actually a more stable currency than, again, what they're used to in the national system. So those are a couple of the key areas that we're focusing on as far as globally.
Am I right that Dash Pay payment system is one of the first steps of long-term development?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
Dash Pay. I mean Dash Pay payment system that was introduced a couple days ago. I mean Dash Pay demo version. No?
Are you talking about evolution?
Evolution and yes. Evolution.
Okay, so evolution is what we're looking at. We're looking at releasing that in the second half of the year. That will really be focusing on, well, a couple of key areas. The area that really excites me is around the easy user experience. So we're moving, for example, things like the cryptographic addresses that today we have to use to, of course, transact. How do we move that behind the scenes so that people are used to, or will then be able to transact by paying per individual name? So I could then say send $100 to my friend Bill or my friend Joe or my dad or mom, and again, make that just an easier user experience. That will go, I think, that will help with bringing more people into the ecosystem. The other element that I like about evolution is around the functionality around dApps, the decentralized applications that then can be built, and being able to provide, again, almost that App Store, iTunes ecosystem sort of feel, where people then within their wallet can, of course, buy Dash, they can hold Dash, and then they can also spend Dash as well.
What is Dash target at first, merchants or Dash users?
So from a business development point of view, our main focus, well, sorry, let me take a step back. Within Dash, we have 4 customers. We've got the individual users, we've got the merchants, we've got businesses, and then we also have our developers. Business development really only looks at two of those four. We look at the merchants and we look at the businesses. Now, from our perspective, like I gave the example with GoCoin as a way we can increase scale rapidly through those channel partners, our main focus is definitely around those businesses. How can we integrate in a way, again, that provides a very high level of ROI as we're able to expand, again, that ecosystem through multiple merchants through a single integration. Individual merchant acquisition is not a strong area of focus, mostly because at this point we are still a small team. And so again, the efficiencies really come from our channel partners rather than, again, individually acquiring a merchant, that corner store, or there's a bar down the road. That level of merchant acquisition we're not focusing on at this point, but of course, obviously, if there were larger merchants, you know, that would be something we would, of course, focus on too.
Do you see any perspectives on Russian market, in Russia?
I think, you know, Russian market's definitely a very interesting one as well. I think there's a lot of markets out there. Russia, if I remember correctly, is I think the #2 most popular market as far as web statistics visiting dash.org. So it's definitely a very important market. It's one where you know, I think we need to get our heads, I think, together to kind of create a strong strategy on how we can kind of obviously approach the market and make obviously more progress. But no, it's definitely an exciting one.
Okay, I've got it. Bradley, what will be considered by you as a great result of your teamwork? I mean, when you can say, great, we did it perfectly. Maybe some digits, 1 billion Dash users or merchants.
Yeah, I mean, I think you know, individual kind of metrics at this point. You know, it's some of those I don't necessarily have. It's really around, from our personal view of success, is really how are we growing the system? Are we growing the Dash ecosystem? Are we providing new opportunities and new ways for people to either acquire Dash or spend Dash? And I think, again, you know, specifically around markets like Venezuela, are we able to actually make a difference to everyday people that are not able to enjoy the same services from the financial system that perhaps myself can? So those would be 3 areas that we would measure success by.
Okay. Bradley, I think when Dashcore stole you from American Express, they were very lucky to get the hardcore professional. Simultaneously, do you agree that your transition is a sign for many people? I mean, if these persons like you leave big financial giants and prefer cryptocurrency and digital cash sphere, we should actually expect a significant transformation in the world financial system. Do you agree with this? Do you see this trend?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I hope so. It would be maybe the short answer. And I think, anecdotally, this is just my view. I don't know if it's a broader trend. I do see, speaking with, say, old colleagues, a lot more interest in participating in the cryptocurrency industry. I think it offers certain elements that are very attractive to just people in general. You know, as I mentioned, we're trying to help unbanked and underbanked people in countries where they're feeling a lot of stress. Being able to help people, to be able to provide those types of solutions for individuals in that scenario is, I think, something that a lot of people resonate with, and a lot of people want that job satisfaction. So I think even on those elements, people are looking at cryptocurrency. I think additionally, it's around being able to do something new and exciting. You know, and I think, again, people are interested from that point of view. myself personally, I mean, I joined as well because of those reasons. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to help people that were in unfortunate circumstances, and I wanted to be able to own and feel like I'm making, you know, contributions. That's sometimes difficult in not American Express, but just any very large corporation. So there's those attributes that will, I think, entice some people to move as well.
Yeah, brilliant. And the last question, what American Express devices, tools, instruments are effective for both structures? I mean, for American Express and for Dash as well.
No, it's a good question. I think, you know, there's a lot that can be learned from the, if you ignore for a moment even cryptocurrency, what we're really looking or comparing is American Express, very large corporation, and also Dash, which is a startup. So just even broader, more abstract ideas that come from large institutions. How do you define goals properly? How do you measure success? How do you build processes and documentation? Sometimes it's not always the fun stuff, but sometimes it's that behind the scenes elements around how do you work efficiently and smarter that can be brought and obviously learned from, and you get to be able to understand, well, hey, this process worked well, how can we leverage that and learn, you know, kind of from those you know, larger corporations. A lot of, I guess, I'm trying to think of maybe a specific example, but there is, I think, understanding how a big machine works is important to then pick those good pieces to say, well, this is how we can maybe work again more efficiently in our own space.
Everything is so interesting.
No, absolutely.
Bradley, I appreciate you for your time and for this interview. And our Russian audience will be very glad to meet with you again. Thank you very much.
No, well, thank you very much for the opportunity. Great to meet you.
Thank you. Dear friends, thank you for watching. Please subscribe and leave your comments. See you. Bye.
Thank you.